So I just want to say hello. Thank you for having us today, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to hear what we have to share. Today we're going to talk about internships, our internship program, as well as career readiness skills and professional skills. So a little introduction, my name is Carrie Fagan. I'm the contract data coordinator here at the Westmoreland-Fayette Workforce Investment Board. And my role in the Experience Works Plus program, which is our internship program, is kind of getting people ready to start their internship. So I'll do the orientations as well as midway check-in calls once you are interning a little bit.
And I am Caitlin Slazak. I'm the Youth Program Specialist at the Westmoreland-Fayette Workforce Investment Board. And my role with the Experience Works Plus program is I oversee it, so I deal a lot with the email communications and the matching of students with internships. So, a little bit before we dive in, we wanted to explain a bit about who we are and what we do. So, has anybody in the room heard of a Workforce Investment Board? Do you know what they do? I'm seeing some no's. Okay. So that's typically the answer we get. Every time I go home to see my family, they go, "What is it that you do again?" So nobody ever really remembers. We get asked that a lot. But we are a business education and community board empowered to lead workforce development activities in our two-county region. To give you a bit of a bigger picture, every county in the state of Pennsylvania is assigned a workforce development area. And every area has a workforce development board. So there are actually 22 of us in the state of Pennsylvania. And these go across the country, but just that's what ours is in the state. And every workforce board receives federal and state funding that we use to support different workforce initiatives, in our area. So that could be paid internships, that could be industry partnerships with our employers, that could be different trainings. We have a whole bunch of different funding sources. And all of those words probably mean nothing to you. So this is kind of a visual interpretation of what some of that looks like. I won't go through all of it, but as I'm on the youth side, all of these are youth-based. So these are some of the things that we've recently funded. There's a ton more. One of my favorites is the agriculture camp. So in Fayette County, agriculture is one of our in-demand HPOs. And so one of our providers does a career readiness camp over the summer. And so these middle school students get to go out, they get to learn like farming, like different plants that are good in the area. They get to learn about how to take care of the cows and milking them. So it's a really cool experience, and it really helps open them up to the industry. And then another really cool one is our nurses aid training. There's a provider that we have also in Fayette County, and they if you qualify, you can be a part of this program, and you get your nurses aid certification training for free. So you basically go through the program, get the certification, and then you go straight into the workforce at no cost to you. So there's a ton of other ones. A lot of what we focus on is breaking down barriers. So as you can see, the participant in the corner is sitting on a car. When they were involved in our Experience Works program, they were really into, their goal was to get their driver's license, get a car. So they used the funds provided through that program to buy their car, and we were able to help them and provide support to get their license. So that's a little bit about what we do.
So you may be asking yourself, what is an internship exactly? Have any of you guys completed an internship yet, or thinking about completing one? So an internship is a temporary job role that allows you to use practical and give you a general experience of what that specific job may look like once you go into that field. And typically it's either what you are studying in or your career interests. An internship can also provide you like an industry outlook of how things are run, as well as assisting with completing your degree. I know sometimes schools give you credits if you complete an internship, and then sometimes internships can be paid and sometimes they're not paid.
So we wanted to go through just a few of the benefits of having an internship. This can be a great experience because it's kind of getting like a little taste of what your degree looks like in the field, and also what it looks like in this area, because your degree in this area could look different than it does in California or in Canada or somewhere else far away. So we just wanted to run went through a few. One of the greatest benefits is it is a strong resume builder. So whether you complete 1, you complete 3, this is something you can put on your resume, so by the time that you actually graduate, you're not going into the field with no experience. You have all of these different internships that you can put on, and you have gained that experience before you even graduated. And kind of going off the resume, developing new skills. Internships are great, as I said, a great way to get real world experience and firsthand in your field, because obviously academics are so important, but actually knowing what that looks like when you leave is just equally as important. So as you're completing these internships, you really get to see what technical skills do I need, and if you do multiple internships, it can look different for each one. So maybe this organization does it this way, and this skill is important, but this organization does it this way, and these skills are important. So it's a great way to really add to your resume and be well-rounded.
So some other benefits are you get to work in different work environments. So maybe you're in between multiple industries. Internships allow you to, explore those industries and help you narrow down on what you want to specifically go for. So this is probably the time that if you're going to job hop, this is like the place to do it, because you're able to experience those different places, and employers look at that as an experience opposed to you just going to one job, going to the next. So typically they try to, I know they say that that's not the best look. And then as well, you get to network with professionals. You get to meet potential colleagues or your future mentors, and it also just allows you to potentially get a job down the road. So we were past interns at the Westmoreland-Fayette Workforce Investment Board, and now we're both hired on. And we probably wouldn't have had that opportunity if we didn't get involved in an internship.
So as we mentioned earlier, we actually have a support program that helps with internships in the area. So that program is called Experience Works Plus. And pretty much these are actually some pictures of some past interns. We love to share our pictures. But pretty much our program targets Westmoreland and Fayette County residents. And as you're going through college, you are able to pursue internships, and we can provide the wages. So whether you're struggling to find an internship and you need some help getting in contact with someone, or you just would like to have a paid internship because who doesn't want to get paid for their work, we can help be that middleman for you.
So you may be sitting here wondering how you can get involved. Well, there's 2 approaches. So the first approach is, say you don't have a work site in mind, but you're looking for an internship. All you have to do is fill out our application and send us your resume. And on the application, there is a little spot where you can kind of say what your interest is, what do you want to kind of shoot for. And then, we tell you to keep looking for an internship as well, and we'll keep looking for an internship. So say we found you a local organization, and we'll send your resume, and then we'll go through an interview process, and then the internship kind of starts from there. And then the second approach is, say you have a work site and you're just not being paid for it, you can still submit your application and your resume, and then that work site would just need to complete a job description. So some program details, we're accepting applicants on a rolling basis, and we are the ones that fund your internship, and you get paid $15 an hour. And your work site will oversee the day-to-day operations. And then we also have requirements of you must be working 20 to 40 hours per week with a maximum of 320 hours and a minimum of 240 hours. So that's typically 8 to 12 weeks depending on how many hours you're working. And then while you're interning, you will also complete some career readiness components. That way it kind of just builds you up for, once you get into the professional world. And then we do have rules of you can't be directly or indirectly supervised by a family member, as well as not engaging in any political or religious in nature work. So some intern eligibility, you have to be 18 to 24 years old. You must be currently enrolled in undergraduate, which you guys all are. And then you must be a resident from Westmoreland or Fayette County, and you must seek an internship that closely aligns with your degree. So some worksite eligibility, they must be located in Westmoreland or Fayette County, and it can be a for-profit or a nonprofit organization, and they must be able to provide you an opportunity that closely relates to your major or career focus.
So we just wanted to conclude with one more piece. We wanted to touch on how internships can build your soft skills and why soft skills are very important as you go throughout your career. So before we dive into soft skills, they are actually a part of a greater, a greater piece that you should be working on as you're going through college, and this is called career readiness. So there are 3 core elements for career readiness, and that would be your academic skills, which would be your classroom time, employability, soft skills, which we will touch on in a second, and then your technical skills. So those are kind of like when you're on site, like what is specific for your field. And then some additional elements that are included in career readiness are things like resume prep, mock interviews, financial literacy, learning about diversity, things of that nature. I will say for our program, Experience Works Plus, we do touch on some of these additional elements. We actually do a internship summit in the summer, and that is kind of like a conference style day, so all of our interns who are involved in the program get to come together, and one, you get to meet other interns who are in your situation, and then you get to listen to a keynote, and we do different sessions that, like the ones listed up here, that can help develop your skills. And then as you are in the program, if it's not summertime, we also do some sort of like on your own time building. So we do like online portfolio development. We can watch, we have you watch videos, about DEIA and various different things. And we also have you work on a thank you note to give to your mentor at the end of your internship. So that's career readiness. And then we wanted to dive into soft skills. So we did also want to acknowledge that soft skills have a lot of different names. So you might know them as career readiness skills, you might know them as future ready skills, you might know them as professional skills, but all of these different names come down to the same different skills that you are learning. So you might not hear them as soft skills, but they're all kind of included in the same boat.
So you may be asking yourself, what are soft skills? Well, soft skills are interpersonal and behavioral skills that help you work well with other people and develop your career. Soft skills are transferable, so maybe one work site that you're working on and when you move on, you're probably still using the same skills that you learned there, just embellishing it more. And it's beneficial for all ages. We work with multiple different employers throughout our programs, and soft skills is like the main thing that they bring up to us. They can really set you aside from candidates when they're looking at interviewing. And this is straight from the employers. Soft skills are one of the most important skill sets a candidate can have. They also understand that COVID has, created a setback in some of those soft skills. And like I mentioned earlier, benefits individuals of all ages, and most likely you're probably using soft skills and don't even know it. So I'm not going to read these all off to you, but from the National Association of Colleges and Employers, these are the soft skills that they mention. So career and self-development, communication, critical thinking, equity and inclusion, leadership, professionalism, teamwork, and technology. So what do you think the top 3 are that most employers look for?
Career and self-development, critical thinking, and teamwork.
Does anyone have any other guesses?
Communication, career and self-development, and where I would change it up is probably professionalism.
All good answers. So some correct, some I understand where you're coming from. So the top 3 skills are communication. So a little bit about communication. It is to clearly and effectively exchange information, ideas, facts, and perspectives with people inside and outside of your organization. Professionalism and teamwork are kind of interchangeable. It depends on who you ask. But for professionalism, it's just knowing work environments differ greatly and understand and demonstrate effective work habits and act in interest of the larger community and the workplace. And then the other one is teamwork, which is build and maintain collaborative relationships to work effectively toward common goals while appreciating diverse viewpoints and shared responsibilities. You guys communicate every day, so you're already using that soft skill. And then in school, you're doing school projects with people, you're already creating that teamwork soft skill. And that, I think that's the big reason why schools really showcase it, because they know that you're gonna be working with many people moving forward. So incorporating soft skills. You can improve any of the soft skills that were mentioned if you just make it a practice, as well as most soft skills are a matter of routine. So assess what skills you're building and cross-reference internship tasks to soft skills, as well as, your school and your soft skills. And we did provide some soft skill resources. I've tried personally the PA Career Link Skills Up, and I thought it was very interesting to kind of really learn about myself and how I can benefit myself professionally and outside of work.
I will say, in our resources, the top one does include the second and the third resource, but we specifically pulled them because we thought they were important. So the second one, the soft skills self-reflection, that's actually a version that you can use to assess what skills you're building. And this doesn't have to be in an internship. It could be with what you're doing in class. It could be with your part-time job. It could just be maybe how you interact with other people. You're constantly building these soft skills, and that's why they're so important. But this soft skills self-reflection, almost messed that up. It's a great way just to focus in and reflect on yourself, so you know, like, what are my strengths? How am I demonstrating those strengths? What's my weakness, and how can I improve on that? So that's just a version, but there's probably a ton out there that you can use. And then I would also like to mention the soft skills behavior breakdown. So back to this slide, we got this from the National Association of Colleges and Employers, like Carrie said. And these, I forgot what it's called, the behavior breakdowns actually goes into more detail what is included in each of these categories. So it breaks it down a lot more, and you can identify more of what's included and what should I be working on. So it's a great resource just to read over. And Carrie mentioned the PA Career Link Skills Up. They actually have kind of like an assessment that you do, so you can see what am I strong in, what am I weak in, how can I develop those. And when you sign up for Skills Up, it also gives you the option to do like little trainings to get like certificates or various things, so you can also build your skills that way. And there's a ton of other things on Skills Up, but that's just something we wanted to highlight. But that is everything, and we thank you so much for taking the time to be here. If you are interested in the Plus program, there is a flyer I believe Carrie gave to you guys, but if you scan this QR code, it takes you to our webpage where it has the applications, it has the information, the handbook, so you can find everything on there. But thank you. Was there any questions or anything that we can answer?
Thank you. Go ahead.